Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really fun bangle bracelet and a little different approach to it. So I have this Nunn design bangle bracelet with this channel core. A lot of different things you can do with it, and one option is to paint it. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and then I'm going to show you how to add some embellishments as well and give you some tips along the way. So what you're going to need for the paint is Vintaj Patina, and this is specifically made for metal, so it's going to stay on there really well. You're also going to need a paintbrush, and I recommend, if you think you're going to be doing several of these, to get a paintbrush with a flat tip and even about the width of the bracelet if you do want to make a lot of these. If you don't need such a specific brush, but it really does help. Then I've got these little embellishments. They're Swarovski flat back pearls, and I'm going to add them using some GS Hypo cement. And then I just have a little plastic bag. It was actually what the bangle bracelet came in, which I'm using as my paint tray. And then I've covered my work surface. So first off, you're going to want to shake up your patina and put some on your paint tray, or in this case, my little plastic bag. Now, Vintaj patinas do dry very quickly, so you're not going to want to put a lot out there. And we're just going to put some on the tip of our brush, not soaking our brush, and we are just going to start to paint the core. Now, you're going to notice you're not getting a lot of coverage. I don't want you to paint a heavier coat. I want you to do this nice light coat to begin with and actually go back over the area that you started so you don't have a lump there. And you see how I'm holding it? So I'm not touching any of the sides. And then I'm also making sure that I don't cover the rim. That edge is what's going to make it look really nice and polished. So now we're just going to rotate, pick up a little bit more paint, just again on the tip, and paint in that core. Go back over where you started, just so you don't have a big puddle of paint right there, and rotate. A little more paint. Okay, and just do that until you reach where you started. Now, I'm going to put this down for only about 5 minutes for this first coat. Because it is so thin, I can then go right over it again. You can see it's uneven. You can definitely see the copper through it. Don't worry about that. You're going to do several coats, so you're going to end up with a really nice, solid, opaque color. Go wash your brush out in the meantime, though, otherwise the patina will dry on it, and you'll end up with a paintbrush that's not going to work anymore. So you can see this is now completely dry, and actually look at what happened, and this is going to be what's probably going to happen on yours. You'll see little gaps here and there, and you'll also notice it's definitely not a nice even coat. So we need to do another coat, and we're going to do that the same way. So I already pre-shook this. I'm just going to put some down on my little piece of plastic, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to go over our painted area again. And I want to show you a little bit of this before I sign off again to paint the whole thing and let it dry. There are still streaks. So what you're going to do, and I'm not going to show every step of this in the video because you don't need to see me painting over and over again. You are going to paint enough coats till you have a completely opaque solid layer. With the green, it took 5 coats of paint. With this light blue, it's probably going to take the same amount, and just paint a layer, let it dry thoroughly, and then go back and paint another layer. And what you're going to be doing is when you're going over the layers, you're going to start to get a nice even coat along the edges, and it's going to start to look even more solid along the band until it's completely a nice solid opaque layer. And don't be tempted to do a super thick layer. That's not going to help you in the long run. So just nice even coats, letting them dry, and then going back and painting a top coat. Well, it did end up taking 5 coats, but I do have now a nice even coat of blue, and now I'm ready to go ahead and add my little embellishments. And to do that, I'm going to use GS Hypo cement. I'm going to then use a little mini magical pick, which has this little tip on the end, which will allow me to pick up my embellishments. Now you can use flat back rhinestones, you can use these little cabochon pearls, you can do whatever you want to put on here, or you could leave it blank, but I want to spruce it up a little bit with a polka dot design using these great little embellishments by Swarovski. So what's nice about the Hypo cement is it has this great little applicator tip, and what I'm going to do is, you'll probably notice there are slight imperfections in my paint, which is just bound to happen. You probably have the same thing. So I'm going to start by putting an embellishment over one of those. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of the GS Hypo cement right onto my bracelet, pick up an embellishment and stick it on there. Now I want a polka dot pattern, so I don't want this to all be even. So I'm going to take another little dot and another one. I'm just going to go ahead and place these into the dots of glue. Now I'm going to rotate it slightly, and then if you get too much glue that's coming out of your applicator tip, if you have your work surface covered, just go ahead and smear it onto your work surface so it doesn't get in the way. Okay, this does dry pretty quickly, so I'm only going to do about 3 dots at once before I place my object into them. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, put the tip here back into my glue, and I'm going to let this dry in an upright position for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to feel like I can rotate it and continue adding more of the little polka dots. These are dry, they're not going to go anywhere now, and so I feel free to rotate, and now I'm going to do the same process again. And look for any imperfections I might want to cover up, which helps if you are doing like a random polka dot pattern. Okay, that's about as much as I want to do this time, and I do believe on the next time around I can finish it up. Last segment, we're going to rotate and do the exact same thing. It does not take a lot of the GS Hypo cement. I think well, actually just one more dot and we are good. And now you have a great pastel, in this case pastel bracelet, perfect for spring in a very popular bangle style.